right, so I haven't told you this story, Adrian, but it's quite a comedy story, as some people would say.
Did I start the recording? Oh, I did.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
going.
All right, so what's the story?
I like how I almost just told a whole story, and you'd be like, "Hold on, let me hit record."
just start it over.
Sorry, my mind is just like, I mean, you guys just told me something. Now my mind is just.
I like to refer to that as my brain is liquid.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it is.
Well, this is a story. This is back in 2019. I was in UK.
Oh, the before times.
Yeah, in the before time. This is actually, oddly enough, a little bit like my Star Wars story. Maybe happened 2 or 3 months after this. So we're getting into a cinematic universe. Yeah, we're getting
the JCU.
Yeah, it's like a lot of things happened 2019. I went to a casino for the first time, and
which one do you remember?
It was in Vegas, and it was it's a group of 3. It's
Is it the
Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, no, the other one's castle themed, and I think that's called
Excalibur.
Excalibur, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, so we're in the UK, and
I stayed at the Luxor when I was there. That's the big black pyramid.
I saw that across the street.
That place was fucking weird inside. It was.
We
cool.
always stay at the Golden Nugget.
The Golden Nugget? I don't know that one.
What's the third building on the?
Well, it's.
Well, I mean, there's Caesar's Palace as well.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like the Mandalay Bay and Excalibur are literally like joined.
Oh yeah,
isn't it the Wynn?
Or is it the Paris? Is the Paris connected? No, the Paris isn't connected. It's its own weird dome.
Yeah. I remember just because I got really into video poker, and I don't think I've told you this story. We had 2 stories today.
Oh, hell yeah.
Literally the first thing that happened when we got there, my aunt gave my brother and I think $20 or something like that. And we're sitting at video poker. And I didn't, I knew how to play poker, but I didn't really understand how you played video poker.
Was it like 5 card or Texas Hold'em? Do you remember?
How
many cards did you have?
Yeah, it was 5 cards.
Okay. I don't really know how to play 5 card that well. I'm a Texas Hold'em kind of guy.
I mean, it's the same except you.
It's just with 5.
Yeah, but I mean, with video poker also, you're only drawing your hand, so it's just land a good hand.
Okay.
And the payout is based on the hand that you got.
All right.
And so we're playing, and I'm like, okay, I get some cards. I'm like, hold these cards. They're not doing anything. And my brother, who just lucked his way into this, is like, I don't know how to play, and he's just fucking hitting buttons randomly. And at a certain point, he hits a button, and it just on it, and we look over, and he's like, "What just happened?" And he goes, "Oh, I just won the jackpot on this guy." And
oh my God.
And we're like, okay, and we're looking at it, and so we were doing the 50-cent bet. So 50-cent bet, it's like $400 or something like that. And it's like, okay, that's not too bad. He goes, "No, I didn't bet 50 cents." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I bet $3." And we look at it like, "You just won $4,000."
Oh my God.
and literally like it was so much money they couldn't just pay it out to him. Like someone had to come over, and he literally had to declare it immediately in taxes. Like it was enough money to where and then they handed him the money. And so for the rest of the 4 or 5 days we're there, he was just paying for everything because he's like, I have money, it's fine.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
I'm doing there, and meanwhile I'm just like, come on, and I'm just making. It's like, I'm making some money, and then I'm losing some money. I'm not pulling the shit where I'm just losing money like crazy until eventually I'm up like $400. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing really well. And just hand after hand, I'm getting pounded. I'm down $400. And I don't mean the $400 I had, like I'm $800 down. and I'm like, oh shit, this really sucks. And I didn't have didn't have a stable work at the time. So me losing this money, I'm like, it could be years before I get that $400 back. and I'm just like, okay, we'll just keep going. We'll have to make that money back. We now just have to make $1,600. And it's like money's going down, and I'm just like, this fucking sucks. I hate this place. Why would I'm like, everyone's like, yeah, I'm following. No, I just fucking lost like all my fucking money. You doing all right? And my mom, meanwhile, is like, I have just infinite money, so I don't really care. And occasionally I'm walking up to her, I'm like, hey mom, can I have $20 to play on the slot machine? She'd be like, here you go. I'd be like, thank you. And I'll leave.
It's like Chuck E. Cheese, man.
And I'd be like, hey, mom, I just lost that $20. Can I have another $20? She's like, what happened to the $20? I was like, I just did some bad bet. It got to a point where I was like, all right, I need to make my money back. And 50-cent bets are not where it's at. You actually need to have a much higher bet. So I'm at the 125. So it's 5 times the payout. No, it would have been 25-cent bets.
Yeah.
I'm doing the $1.25. And I'm like, okay, can't lose. And now I'm making my money back. I'm losing, and I'm never getting higher. So now I'm just always like, oh, I've just lost money over here. Until the last 20 minutes of that day, I'm literally like, I just lost like $400 or something like that coming here. Like, and it was worse because it was my birthday at the same time. So someone handed me like a wad of cash and said, "Go wild, kid." And I said, "Yeah." And then I lost it. And I was like, "Hey, Mom, I don't have any money anymore." I literally, had I have not gambled here, I would have just all of the birthday money that my extended family handed to me to go gamble.
By the way, happy early birthday in like
oh yeah, that's true.
2.5 weeks.
Dude, it's gonna be insane.
We're gonna be like, "Hey, it's my birthday," and you're gonna be like, "Hey, it's my birthday," and we're gonna be like,
then we'll get our third friend to be like. So that sets the it's like the 27th of January or something like that.
"Okay, all right, yeah."
And I'm like, "Okay, Mom, I need $20 more." And she's like, "You're just going to lose it." And I said, "I know." And I take the money, and literally we are preparing to leave. People are getting in the car and stuff, and I'm sitting there in the casino, and it's hot hand after hot hand. And I'm making that money back, baby. And I leave, and they're like,
"Did
you lose all that?"
You're in debt to like $1,600 to your mom alone.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that, and this is where the story doesn't exactly pan out. I never paid any of the money back from Mom, which actually at this point I think I only owed her like $40. So
Okay.
all the other money, because I just wasted all of like my birthday money at that point, and I was like, okay. No, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, and I'm hand after hand, bang, 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 and I leave the casino $75 richer than I made all of my birthday money
Plus
back.
75.
I made the $75 back, and I even technically made more money that I paid for all of the expenses I made on that trip. And I walked out. I was pimp walking out of that. Everyone's like, "Did you have a good time?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I had a good time. Nothing but fun." And they were just like, "Weren't you like really depressed? You lost a lot of money." I'm like, "Not today, I didn't." I think I made, oh, look at that, $75. And I'm like handing like a single like 50 cents to the guy handing my package. I'm like, don't spend that all at once.
I've only been to Vegas once, and it was also for my birthday.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think it was actually, holy shit, now I'm thinking about that, we may have been in Vegas on the same day.
That's wild.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I need to ask Meg, do you remember the day we were there?
Yeah.
But yeah, we stayed at the Luxor, but I don't know if you remember.
I think the Luxor is the third casino, by the way.
The Luxor, I'm pretty sure, is self-contained.
No, the Luxor is like the first thing you see when you like drive into
Yeah,
Vegas.
okay.
It's on its own.
You know what? I might.
Yeah.
But mine was close. I could definitely see it through the windows.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can see it from fucking everywhere, to be honest. But I don't know if you know, if we talked much during this period, but I know I talked to Adrian a lot. I had a bilaterally inflamed sciatica, which means that my sciatic nerve on both sides of my back it fucking exploded. And for the first few days after that injury, I literally like could not walk for almost a week. I could not walk. It hurt too much to even like sit up. I was in so much pain.
I remember you towards the end of that because
Yes. Well, towards the end of that is when we went to Vegas, but I was still a little cripple boy. I was literally walking around Vegas.
That not early 2020? Because you were complaining about that before.
It was early
2020. It wasn't.
Yeah, because I remember I got the notification because we have a running D&D campaign.
Yeah.
And like there was a 2-year gap,
Uh-huh.
and Facebook notified me because that was the last time I posted. That was November of 2019.
Okay.
So and you were still working at
the restaurant.
At the restaurant, yeah.
Oh, okay. So we were in the same place in Vegas a year apart.
Yeah.
But I was a little cripple boy, and I was literally walking around with crutches. By the time we left Vegas, we were in the car and we were going home, and I look at Megan, I'm like, "Hey, did you like gamble at all?" And she goes, "No." "Did you?" And I was like, "No."
Honestly, don't
we
gamble.
spent the whole time in Vegas just walking around shopping. Neither one of us gambled at all. Neither one of us drank a drop of alcohol. We kind of just went to Vegas so I could be in pain for a little bit and then went home.
Honestly, don't gamble. I've gambled 3 times in my life. All 3 times I've won, but also I was dangerously close to losing money like Jeremy did.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, Jeremy didn't lose money.
I
he
gained
walked
money.
out with $75 extra.
And we're not even counting the money that I lost not playing video poker. I tried playing roulette, and I was just like, it's basically 49-49 odds on any of these colors, and I would always pick the wrong one every fucking time.
Oh yeah, because there's one green one, right?
Yeah, so it's that doesn't. No, actually, it's 48,
Yeah,
and
right?
then 2 is
Yeah,
the
okay. Roulette's just fun to look at, but it's a fucking scam of a game.
Well, it's just honestly, I think you have pretty decent odds on roulette.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I just hate the ones that are just luck.
To be fair, literally all of those are just luck.
Yeah, I know, but like, you can at least finesse a little bit in like blackjack or like poker.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I will say,
just a little.
around the same time, our friend Nick, who is also a birthday buddy.
Yeah, all three of us born on the same day, same year
Really?
too. Same year, right? He's also 97,
Yes,
baby.
he went to New Orleans to gamble. And this is 2018, so this is a year before.
Another year
Yeah, so
apart.
we're and he comes back and he goes, "Jeremy, you wouldn't fucking believe what happened." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "They had a Game of Thrones slot machine that I lost $2,000 on." And I'm like, "What the fuck? How?" He's like, "I don't know. It was Game of Thrones themed." And I'm like, "Well, how did you play?" He goes, I don't know. It was Game of Thrones themed."
That sounds like that sounds like
I was just like, "Oh, it's gonna be so cool if I win on this."
I can't talk shit. I would have done the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
it was 2018. We were all like, "Well, season 7 was pretty okay, so season fucking 8's gonna be banging. Let's throw some money on this bad boy."
Oh, that's another gambling game that's like all luck based, but I love looking at it. Fucking love Plinko. Plinko's so fun to look at. Just watching them all go down. It's the one where you drop a bunch of balls and they hit. Like,
It's
the
the
pegs
one
and go
that's
down.
the Price is Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's that
Isn't
one.
that called
Yeah.
pachinko?
Is it?
Well, I think it's a pachinko
No,
machine.
I'm just kidding. It's
yeah.
it's either one.
Yeah, okay.
They're alternative names.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of like how people will correct you that the word is not guillotine, it's guillotine, and you're like, actually, that's wrong because they are both the correct word.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually thought the first was just mispronunciation. Mispronunciation.
Some of the times, like there are a lot of words that go into a different language and they just say fuck it, we're spelling it a different way. There actually is an L in some spellings of guillotine.
Well, there's 2 L's, isn't there?
Well, yeah, there's it's called la guillotine, so it's 3.
No. okay, so it's 3. Yeah.
No, I don't.
There's
It
2
might
Ls.
be 2 L's, yeah. But I'm fairly certain the actual French word doesn't have an L in it.
Really?
I could be wrong about
I'm
that.
pretty sure you're wrong about that.
I might be wrong. Then it
But what do we say when we say something wrong?
it's correct now.
Don't correct us.
If that's the case, then it's just the pronunciation. It's like,
It's just like, who gives a shit?
well, yeah. In the UK, they pronounce a lot of words kind of not French. Like if it's a French word, they're like, no, we don't pronounce the French.
If you were to order a box of fried dough with powdered sugar on it, you would call that a...
Based on how they would spell it, like a beignet or something. like they would really pronounce all the letters. You don't call your valet, you call your valet. Like they pronounce the T.
I hate that.
Or
Hate
like
that.
fillet of fish is not a fillet of fish.
Ugh.
Dude, that was one other thing about being in Vegas. We ate at Gordon Ramsay's steak, and I looked at Meg when our waiter was coming up, and I was like, "Will you break up with me if I tell him I want a fillet mignon?" And she was just like, "Yes."
The thing is, though, Gordon Ramsay probably calls it that. Like
No, he calls it filet mignon.
I mean, that's he is very
How was that restaurant?
Oh, it was some of the best food I've ever fucking had.
really. I was expecting that story to end with, yeah, and
it
then
was okay.
No, so it was also $300 for the two of us.
yeah. I who gives a shit at that point?
Oh yeah, no. She got a fillet mignon. I got a New York because that's my go-to for steak. If I have a whole choice,
Yeah.
go New York.
Did she order it blue?
She almost did. She just ordered it rare. But she is the type of person to order it blue. Have you ever had something blue? Or
No,
to know what that is?
because I literally, like most restaurants, I don't think legally can sell you something blue.
Correct. They can.
Interesting.
She did not order it blue. When you have a blue steak, if you cut it down the middle and touch the center of it, it will be cold. And I fucking hate that.
Honestly,
so much.
sounds
That's
great.
so gross.
Oh, okay. So you're a freak
I'm
like her.
so like when I have many times, and people about to hear this are probably like, "Oh my god, Jeremy, what are you?" I have cooked steaks before where I've taken it like out too early, and it's like still kind of purple on the inside. Like it's warm, it's not fully blue, but it's not gone to the redness. It still
It's
looks
not rare yet.
Yeah, it still looks a little purple. I'm like, I'm not throwing it back in. I'll just eat this.
I hate that so much.
That's
But we also got a mushroom risotto, which was sublime.
Mm-hmm.
and a mac and cheese, which was quite good, but it was still. I feel like mac and cheese has a very permanent ceiling,
Right.
You know,
And even weirder is you're like, this tastes exactly like Kraft.
but no, it was fantastic. I did have a drop alcohol. I got an acai cocktail.
Oh. For some reason, I misheard that, and I thought you said I did have a dropout call, and I'm like,
I heard the exact same
I
thing.
thought he was about to be. And you know what fucking sucked about Vegas? I tried to pick up my phone to answer someone, and it didn't go through. Ruined my entire vacation.
Yeah, I did have some alcohol.
And my back hurt.
Oh my god, it was horrible.
Anyways,
My back still hurts, by the way. It never got back to being good.
See,
I just have a bad back now.
I remember I made fun of you when that happened
Yeah,
to
and
you.
then like a month later, you did it.
Yeah, literally on Christmas Day.
Fucking.
I remember, it's probably not the same, but one time, like, I have a can of Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Would you mind cracking that open for me?
Yes, but I will do it after the story. I once was sitting at my desk, and my chair could lean back. It was one of those chairs that the back was like, nah, you're almost vertical, or you're almost horizontal. And I went, okay, I'm just gonna take a sip from this drink. And while I did that, I thought to myself, you know what? My shoulder's a little tight, and I rolled my shoulders back, and my back fucking exploded. It was something about how I was I remember because it was me swallowing from the drink that causes my chest was up forward, I swallowed, and my fucking back exploded. I literally thought I was about to die.
That's how I felt with the fucking sciatica.
Because I was like,
I mean,
Yeah, you feel like your body's being ripped apart.
I remember because I was at work and it wasn't even something heavy that triggered it. Mm-hmm. When your sciatica gets fucked up,
where's
lot of
the sciatica, out of curiosity?
I can show you. It's lower back.
Oh no, mine was mid back, right.
Okay.
On the
it probably
bridge,
wasn't the same thing because this runs all the way down to your knee.
Yeah, that's just the nerve that connects to the muscle to the rest of it. But I remember. You can fuck it up by picking up something heavy and picking it up wrong. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the time when your sciatica gets fucked up, it's just because it did.
Your spine compresses?
Well, no, sometimes it just gets triggered and then it just stays angry.
Yeah, no, my stepdad, last month, his fucked up.
Ugh.
And just out of nowhere, I was there when it happened, where we were just walking downstairs and all of a sudden he just oh shit.
Yeah. Well,
worst thing ever. Worst pain of my life.
Oh yeah. Well, I bent down. I was picking up a box of chips. It would weigh 2 pounds maximum. And that's mostly the box's weight, not even the chips. But I went down, I picked up because I was opening the restaurant. I got about halfway up and I just stopped and I dropped the box. And I made the same noise because I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And the only cook who was there, Carlos, he sees me and he goes, "Hey, are you okay?" And I just really gently just shook my head because that was the most I could do. I couldn't even speak. And I'm still impressed to this day. He ran out from behind the line, picked me up, just fucking picked me up, carried me out to the front, and just laid me on a booth. And I was able to get my phone out, and I called my dad, and I said, "You need to come get me and bring me to a hospital."
Yeah. See, the nice part about my story was, I think I might have done some, because I was sitting in the chair, me falling into the relaxed state of the chair. I was like, okay, there's no pressure on my back anymore, so I'm fine. And I remember sitting there for a bit and be like, and then trying to get up and being like, oh no, I still have this. It was at a point where I would wake up in the morning and I would literally grab a fistful of my hair to pull myself forward.
Oh my God.
Because I had no strength to actually bend my back.
Yeah, for me it was I didn't have the strength, but for the first few days I would try to do something and my entire body would hurt so bad. It's the only time I've felt my body give up on its own and just stop.
I remember when I had mine, I couldn't even roll over in bed. I had to just lay down completely straight.
Directly up. Yep.
Yeah.
I had the same thing. I was like that for 2 days. On the third day, I was able to, with assistance, sit up and go brush my teeth, I guess. It took about a week before I could just stand up, and it hurt like hell. And and at that point it was the strength thing where I had to conjure the strength to do anything. I went through no, I was about to say 6. I think I went through 8 months of physical therapy to get back to being capable of doing anything.
Well, I mean, once again, I was a little luckier because I think mine was muscle related.
Yeah, I think you just popped.
Yeah, because the next couple of days I could stand up, but I couldn't stand up straight. Like I could feel the weight, and I remember going back to like that really like action hero, like it hurts, but I can kind of do it.
Yeah.
And
John
then,
McClane, as I would call it.
and then at one point, I was talking to my mom, and she says, "Have you taken anything for this?" And I'm like, "It wouldn't work. It's too much." And she's like. So you haven't taken anything? And literally I was like, okay, I'm not. And she handed me an Advil, and I was like, oh shit, it's gone. Oh, all right.
I got prescribed muscle relaxants.
Yeah.
And those were just like, all right. And I got prescribed painkillers, but I believe each tablet was 1,200 milligrams. And they were like, if you need to, take 2 or 3. And I was like, will my liver be able to handle that? And they were like, take 2 or 3.
See, my mom just rubbed some of her essential oils on my back.
And you
that
were
did absolutely
instantly
fucking
better.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom tried to do that to me because she's into essential oils as well. And I was like, do not come anywhere near me with those.
I think actually that is a real situation where an essential oil can actually benefit you.
Not for something like that.
I mean, like maybe not for a sciatica thing, but I think like just general pain, like essential oils actually do have some.
They can dampen slightly, but not like for real.
Because I mean, in a lot of situations, they're just like really weak topical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, there's only like a couple of them that do anything, and it's very weak. But it's not that they have healing properties. It's just that it's alerting the body that like, hey, there's something fucked up here. Can you do something about it? And then your body fixes it.
Anyways, this is Crack Open a Cryptid. Cut clink.
You literally
have a can
in your hand.
Oh,
Open it.
this one?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, this was like Crack Open a Cryptid.
Oh, that
Oh,
one was
okay,
pretty
that
good
was
too. All right. I'm gonna go now. Yeah, still twisted tea, so this one's carbonated.
Yeah. I still feel like mine was a little better than yours.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Yeah.
Man, Adrian at the orgy. I think I did a little bit better than you there, Tyler. Let's look at the tally marks. 4. That's how Adrian sounds, by the way.
Just-
That's my Adrian.
It's a good Adrian.
I'll cut this, but I was going to say, yeah, just 4 lines of allergic reactions.
Yeah. I feel bad sometimes because I will sometimes tell stories and make them sound worse. And then I'm like, oh, shit. Now I'll sit there and be like, well, I know that's not as bad as the story was. But then I'll be like, oh, but no one else does. That's really unfortunate.
How's your twisted tea? Are you enjoying your twisted teas, Adrian?
It's actually pretty good.
I figured
I
you'd be into these.
I think I like the regular one more than the peach one.
That's very surprising to me because you're a peach boy.
I do love peach. Just peach lemonade. Not really a big fan.
It's not lemonade. It's peach tea. I think there might be a hint of lemon, but
There's a little bit of lemon in that.
What are we talking about today?
I have no fucking idea.
Wait, hold on. I think I know what we're talking about. I'm going to guess. Give me a hint.
All right, so it's a conspiracy theory.
Flat Earth.
Fucking
I was gonna say Lost Colony of Roanoke.
What, is it
no,
Flat Earth?
It's Flat Earth.
Fuck yeah!
Damn it! I was gonna draw it out a little further. Yeah, so we're talking about Flat Earth.
You know what I love is that this is a topic I am fully I'm very aware of. Like I have an encyclopedic knowledge on Flat Earth.
Dude,
Really?
I about once a year now, I'll go back and watch Behind the Curve.
Yes,
That is
same.
such
I
a fun
love
documentary.
that. Yeah,
Ooh,
I love that doc. So yeah, we're talking about Flat Earth, which like just general thing. I don't understand how this is
How people think that it's not true.
we
Same.
figured out the planet is a globe back in like the 3rd century.
Well, there was wasn't even earlier than that. There was the one motherfucker who like put a stick.
We knew the Earth was round well before that.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Is it like
Before the stick thing.
Yeah, before the stick. Do you know how the first person figured out if it was round?
I thought that was it.
That's how they determined the circumference of the Earth.
And they were like basically correct, right?
They're like 99%.
That's
like
so fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I should just explain for people who are curious. I forget who did it, but essentially this dude, initially he wanted to measure how tall the pyramids were, I believe. And so what he ended up doing is, rather than trying to measure the height of the pyramid, because that would be fucking insane, he put a stick in the sand, measured how large or how long that stick was, and then when the sun set to a particular angle, he measured the shadow of the stick at the point where it was the actual length of the stick itself, so that the next day when that time came, he could just measure the shadow of the pyramid, and then that would tell him how tall the pyramids were. And by using those measurements, he was able to eventually figure out the circumference of the earth, wasn't he? I think that's how it worked.
You're very close. You might be combining two stories because they are very similar. First of all, the first dude who discovered it, which was probably the guy in the 3rd century, Adrian. Tell me if I'm wrong. He just looked at the moon. He was like, "Look, the moon's covered all the time, and it never is not a circle. That means that the Earth has to be a sphere because that's where the shadow of the moon comes from."
That makes a good point.
Okay, yeah.
And like that was it. He was just like, no, it literally has to. I think it's literally Aristotle, by the way, or one of the.
It might be Aristotle. Yeah.
And the dude you're talking about is I forget his name, but he worked at the Library of Alexandria, and literally his job was just to kind of peer review. So as papers would come in and do stuff, he'd be like, we'll test it out. And he gets a letter one day, and it's basically like, "Hey, I live in this town, and it's almost like directly south of you, but we have this really weird thing where every year on the same day, there's no shadows anymore." And he was like, "I was wondering why." And his thing, he's like, "That is weird because we don't have that. Like there's definitely not a day in Cairo where just suddenly we don't have a shadow." And so what he did is he was just like, when there's no shadow there, he just measured the distance between that city and Cairo, and then just looked at the shadow that they had in Cairo and was able to determine basically a slice of the pie from that.
And then he
extrapolated the.
The guy I was thinking of was Thales of Miletus in the 6th century.
Man, he didn't even do the moon circle thing.
No.
Oof.
I love flat Earth. Tell me some more flat Earth things.
All right. So this fringe society was founded in the 1950s. So yeah, it's
wow, it's even more modern than I thought.
It's very modern. So like, we found out that the Earth wasn't flat, and then that was just like basic knowledge. And in the 50s,
was there, sorry to interrupt again. Was there generally a period of time where people were like, "Yeah, it's flat"? I feel like nobody really thought about it even far enough to be like, it's flat. It's got to be. That just makes sense.
I imagine it was a scenario where people did think it was flat, but they weren't like hard stuck on the idea.
They just kind of assumed.
Yeah, they're like, well, we don't
really know.
In small scale, like the things only stay on something if it's flat. Like,
okay, yeah.
All right. So these believers claim that the Earth is a flat disk, and that have evidence that it is round. So it's round. It's not a sphere, though.
It's like a petri dish.
Yeah. So opinions differ on exactly how the flat Earth works, with believers concocting elaborate versions of physics and creative interpretations of the solar system to make their theories work. So no one knows exactly how many flat earthers are out there. According to the Smithsonian Magazine, membership of the Flat Earth Society, founded in 1956 exactly, once reached 3,500 people.
Wow, they had people all over the world.
That's so fucking comedically small.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that was their peak.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
That's literally like if there are some orgies in LA that have more people in them.
You would know.
Yeah, because I'm constantly documenting that shit.
Yeah, this is what I was looking for. There is a theoretical gigastructure. Like ring worlds, how it's it's Halo.
Yeah.
There's another one called an Alderson disk, where the idea is that it's an enormous ring world that's flat and built around the sun, whereas like a ring world if you just stretched it out a bunch.
Huh.
I always think of these when they're talking. Here's a better image for you of an Alderson disk. They're so fucking stupid. It's just like flat Earth times a million.
Is that a new theory? Like what?
Well, no, that's not what people saying the Earth is. That's just
okay. So that's just like a theoretical.
It's a theoretical megastructure.
Okay.
Well, I guess that would be a gigastructure, but whatever.
Sure.
A large boy, the scientific term.
I didn't know you had a doctorate.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So at their peak, 3,500 people in the Flat Earth Society.
You're so right. That is so comedically small.
Yeah. So today, the society claims more than 500 Flat Earth Society members.
Are you? No.
Yeah.
I've seen the conventions. There has to be like, are they structuring it so like get everyone behind the camera while we do this
Essentially,
interview?
that's what's happening.
What?
Here's the thing, though. I want to go to one of those conventions, and I don't believe in the flat Earth, and I imagine that must be a lot of people there just being like, I just want to see the crazies.
Well, there was a thing from the conventions a few years ago. This person was selling globes, but they
Yes.
weren't globes.
It was like a dome.
It was like a dome, and they were so fucking well made.
Yes.
Like,
Oh yeah. No,
I
I've
was-
seen these. They're incredible.
I was looking
They
at
have
that,
like a full like solarium in them and
I'm
shit.
like, bro, I'd buy one. Like, I know.
my God, right?
Like, that's so cool.
it is.
And like, I don't know why that. Like, I'd be like, you're a fucking moron for believing this. But by the way, yeah, here's your $70 or however much you want.
Dude, I want to go to one of these flat Earth conventions, but more than that, I still really want to go to a FurCon.
And literally,
Bro, I would be so down to go for FurCon.
I'm not a furry. You might be a furry. We're not sure yet. I just
mean-
want to go and see.
I
I
feel
don't
like at
wanna
this
there's
point.
nothing that makes me want to go to, because it's just gonna be cringe the whole fucking time.
No,
That's the point,
it's
Jeremy.
amazing.
We're gonna have
Plus,
cat
Adrian
people
will be
coming up to
hard.
us, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, like spank me, daddy," and I'm gonna be like, "Okay," and then
I guess if you're asking,
and I'm gonna be like, "Ah, I fucking hate being here the entire goddamn time."
you're just gonna be railing some goat lady. You're gonna be like, God, I hate this.
I just be like, oh my god, why is it all the time?
All right. So currently 500 members in its roster, but some believers want nothing to do with the Flat Earth Society. So according to a 2019 CNN article, with some attendees of the
Communist News Network, am I right? guys?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we know who really won the election.
Yeah.
God. So
Kanye.
So some attendees of the Flat Earth International Conference in Dallas that year were telling news agencies that the organization is a government-sponsored front designed to make flat earthers look bad.
Okay, here's the thing though. Do you have differing beliefs though?
Yeah,
Like-
like is this like a sect?
Like, because I know for a fact that flat earthers cannot agree on dick.
Anything.
Yeah, like
No.
they are like, oh no, there's a big glass dome. Some people are like, no, there's no big glass dome. It's actually an open dome kind of scenario.
I've always wanted to know what was on the bottom.
Hell.
It's called the Nether, first of all.
Um,
But no, yeah, I do want to say though about the idea of like, oh, the government trying to make it seem like bullshit. That's actually pretty common in like conspiracy theory stuff and
Yeah.
like cryptid things, where the it's like, oh yeah, the government are the people who are actually making those stories of like some redneck hick being abducted by aliens in fucking like Little Rock or something. That's kind of a big city in the South, but like in the middle of fucking nowhere.
if you're not LA, Tyler doesn't give a shit about your city. Little
true.
Rock, tiny city, more like.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is a thing that comes up a lot where it's like, oh yeah, no, there are aliens, for example, and like the Earth is flat. But what they try to do is they try to make it sound crazy so people don't find out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I can understand kind of being like, we don't want people to know aliens exist. But what do they get from
Well,
saying that the Earth is flat or
it's
not?
it's also really problematic because flat Earth lives on this level of you need to willfully be wrong to do a lot of stuff. Like there's a lot of opinions that you're like, what you're saying is technically true, but your answer makes no fucking sense. Like if you ever watch Behind the Curve, the first thing the dude says,
If people don't know, Behind the Curve is the name of a documentary about the Flat Earth Society on Netflix.
yeah,
It's an incredible watch.
It's amazing.
It's so well done.
the main dude in that gives the argument that if we are on a sphere, then he's like standing just outside of Seattle or something like that. And he's like, Seattle should be here on the sphere and we should be like 45 degrees farther away. And so I shouldn't be able to see Seattle because it'll be on the other side of the earth. But he's like, look right in front of us, we can see it. I'm like, bro, I know what you are saying, but what you are missing is one, how big the earth is. Two, nope, that's just it. It's just how big the earth is.
Well, isn't that just like not Seattle as well?
There was one dude I remember having an interview where he's like, the globe doesn't make sense because here's a picture of North America and South America, but where's Europe, Asia, Africa? And one dude's like, isn't it on the other side? And they're like, bro, you think all that can fit on the other side? It's like, you can physically make a globe and see that it fits on the other side. What kind of argument is that? It's like how would that even work? What do you mean? I'll fucking show you. I can bring you the fucking globe.
Yeah, but that's the thing too, where it's like, how would that even work? And it's like, because it fucking does. Like, I don't know how else to tell you this, because it does.
There's like some famous basketball player who's like really flat earth.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving.
And is, oh my God, every time that dude opens his mouth, I'm thinking to myself, like, kick him out of basketball. Like, literally, if he's him fucking holding a basketball and it's not a frisbee, put him in jail.
If it makes you feel any better, like at the moment of this recording, he hasn't played in like a season.
Oh, you love to hear it.
Like, if that dude, the fucking chattiest thing he can do is step out onto the court and lob a goddamn frisbee into the net and be like,
It's like painted to look like a basketball.
and just be like, see, that's how it would work. And everyone would be like, what the fuck does that even mean?
I will say, one thing I really appreciate about Behind the Curve is that the filmmakers do not go out of their way to make these people look like idiots, because they know that they'll do it themselves. There's only like one point I can even remember in it where it's just like, come on, dude. Where he's like the flat earth guy's on a machine that's supposed to like, it's at NASA. It's supposed to be a simulation of like going around the earth. And there's this thing on the screen that says like, oh, press button to start. And so he keeps tapping on the screen and nothing's happening. And he's like, see, they can't even make the machine work right. And he gets up and walks away all smug. And the cameraman just pans down to the button that was right next to where he was sitting, that if he pressed that, it would work.
Also, doesn't that add to the idea of like, bro, they can't fucking get a simulator to work? You think they're doing this for real? Also, it always boils down to, you're like, why are they doing this? And they're like, because the Jews exist. And you're like, okay.
It really is.
They're like, why am I doing this? Because of insert weird anti-Semitic belief. And it's like, bro, like, there are so many anti-Semites on this earth that don't believe the earth is fucking flat. like, do you really want to pair yourself as someone who's somehow worse than the general Nazi population? Like, at least they're like,
you're like a Nazi and also even dumber.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we hate all these races and we're gonna get them. And I'm like, what shape is the earth? Like, round? And I'm like, okay. I don't agree with what you're saying, but at least it doesn't anger me, is what I said.
God damn it.
And they're like, what? Really? Like, you also believe so? Oh, no.
No, just the earth thing.
It's because, like, the earth is round and we can see that. I feel like this is a weird...
This is a weird conversation.
Yeah.
When you creep out the Nazi.
Yeah, they're like, back off, bro. Like,
you're fucking weird.
We might be anti-Semites and hate every other race, but at least we're not, like, a little conspiratorial like you.
All right, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because, so originally this episode was going to be Flat Earth and Hollow Earth, which we will get to at some point.
That's where Hitler and the dinosaurs live.
Yes, exactly.
That's not even a joke.
No, I know.
But like in researching Flat Earth itself, I wrote 4 pages. So we're just going,
God.
and we haven't even reached the halfway point of the first one.
To put into context, we managed to, like, you do what, 3 pages?
2.5 to 3.
Yeah. What's your normal?
About a page and a half.
Yeah. I did a full page and we got like 2 hours out of it. So, all right, 9 o'clock right now. We'll see how long it goes.
So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So a 2018 article in the Colorado Sun on a Flat Earth convention in Denver found that many of the attendees believed a whole suite of conspiracy theories, such as that all politicians are actors and that powerful shady forces control the world.
I know at least 3 politicians who are literally actors. They're probably looking at that. They're like, wait a minute. This is just Conan.
Okay, hold on. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Donald Trump.
Ronald Reagan.
Oh, that's fucking right. I forgot about that. Yeah. He's dead, though.
Well, so is Donald Trump.
Really? That sounds amazing.
Don't you remember when... so is Joe Biden. Donald Trump's the one that's alive.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's why Biden's a hologram.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd rather a hologram than a Holocaust, though. Know what I'm saying?
Flat
Bro,
earthers.
if you were trying to make your way to the White House on that pitch, I'd be like, it's not the worst thing that a president has put up. He's like, why have Holocaust 2 when we can have holograms 2?
So flat earthers occasionally get boosted from celebrity believers. For instance, on January 25th, 2016, rapper singer Bobby Ray Simmons Jr., also known as B.O.B.
No.
Wait, that's his name?
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm fucked up the most about. That's his fucking name.
So he released a diss track. So it was called Flatline, in which he disses astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson after the two had a Twitter battle over the sphericalness of the planet.
You know what I hope that is this next bit. It's like, and then the retort by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it's just another fucking song. First of all, how's the song?
I haven't heard it.
All right, everyone, stop. We're just gonna play the song in full length right now.
Yo, fuck you, Tyson. You bitch.
Oh, hold on. I accidentally I had the volume a little low. I could barely hear it.
Yo, fuck you, Tyson.
Oh, there it is. My favorite part about B.O.B. is his just immediate stops and his lack of music when he raps. That's fun. You know, we maybe won't do the full song.
Yeah. So a day earlier, before he released the diss track, the rapper tweeted, "No matter how high in elevation you are, the horizon is always eye level. Sorry,
Oh my
cadets.
fucking God.
I didn't want to believe it either."
So he's saying that because you can see the horizon, the Earth can't be flat. Does he know how circles work? Because you're always going to see a horizon. If it was flat, you wouldn't see a horizon. You would just see forever.
Well, yeah. So the interesting thing is that's just feels factually wrong on both regards, because as you would go up, the horizon should lower. Because, like, if you think about it, if you're very far away from Earth and you're looking out straight, you're not gonna, or if you're looking out like perpendicular,
isn't the size of Earth just like it wouldn't be a noticeable difference because of
like that?
Yeah.
That's realistically, unless he's on Everest, where you can see photos of it and you can clearly see, oh yeah, that's like
It's down there.
That is the, because like as you get higher up, you're seeing more of
of the curve.
Yeah, of the curve, because, you know, your eye line is able to go over the edge a little bit more.
What's that mountain on? I think it's on Mars, Olympus Mons. That's like so fucking big that if Mars had the atmosphere of Earth, you would like just be in the upper atmosphere. You ever heard of this? It covers like a third of the planet. It's so fucking big.
That just sounds like Mars is just oblong. Like that. That's like, is that a mountain? Is it?
All right.
See, here's the thing. I didn't know about Bob, and now
No?
I used to be a Bob stan, and I don't think I'm
Really?
going to be listening to him anymore.
Oh man, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was constantly listening all those classic songs that I no longer can listen to.
I could only ever. What was?
That is a very large picture
Oh,
in
yeah,
resolution. Like the thing inside. Oh yeah.
I can't even think of one Bob song.
There's one song by Weird Al that he parodies.
Sorry, the Olympus Mons is the size of France.
I feel really embarrassed when I looked at that. I was like, holy shit, that's almost the size of Germany.
All right, so the leading flat earther theory holds that Earth is a disk with the Arctic Circle in the center and Antarctica a 150-foot tall, or 45 meters for those in the metric system, wall of ice around the rim.
Oh, and then the wild ones live past it, right?
No.
Wildlings.
Wildlings. There you go.
Here's the thing. First of all, terrible joke. Like,
Oh, I'm aware. I didn't even say it right.
Yeah.
It was so bad. There's
I
like a hot redhead, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, Tormund. He's
Yeah. Oh my God, Tormund.
He's no, sorry, I'm not going to talk about Tormund. The wall, it's 150 feet tall.
Yes.
Where does that number come from?
Yeah, right.
if I
Like,
know.
because
I feel like that's a big question with all the flat earth theories of like, where'd you get that number? And it's like, because it is.
Yeah, like, because here's the thing. If it was like maybe 3 or 4 meters tall, I'd honestly be like, sounds like it's holding the water in. That's fine. But no, they're like, it's a massive wall, and I'm like, that's kind of hard because that's easy to disprove. We can go to Antarctica, and when
and
we
not
So
find
so
it.
here's the
Oh.
thing. NASA employees, they say, guard the ice wall to prevent people from climbing over it and falling off the edge.
The American space program guards literally the circumference of the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can't go measure it because like there's NASA employees that are like with machine guns.
That part of the United States government that got its funding cut so much that it barely could do anything for like a decade. That one.
That, because they're spending all their time guarding the ice wall. Were you fucking listening? But no, you might. But I'll fucking buy a boat and we'll just go down there. I'll be like, look, we can just step onto the shore. Like, I think actually Antarctica is quite high. But it isn't. There are.
It's not that high.
Yeah, but you are also. Like, not everywhere. Like, you could probably find a slope down to the ocean, you know?
Well, yeah, because there are like some like 45 people or something who live in Antarctica, and they're all like scientists.
Yeah. I like how you said that to me. Like, I was going to be like, they're native?
They're outnumbered by penguins 400 to 1.
I could kill 400 penguins. Like, if they wanted to,
saying that they were plotting against you.
Well, just like if I had to do my part, bro, think about it. You got it's cold.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. If they're like emperor penguins, you could not kill 400 of them swarming you.
That's where you're wrong, bro. Because oddly enough, I've been training my entire fucking life trying to feed gooses at the fucking pond. You're throwing bread at them, and suddenly
Geese.
you're surrounded. They're called gooses.
He's right, actually.
No.
If you're talking about Canadian gooses, like that specific breed, it's not Canadian geese; they're Canadian gooses.
That is weird. And also, by the way, I just remembered, I'm thinking of ducks. So there's like 1 million ducks that swarm you. You throw like one slice of bread, and suddenly like 50 bajillion show up. Imagine me with emperor penguins. There's only 400 of them.
All right,
I probably have a hockey stick.
Jeremy, similar question that comes up. So you probably have a hockey stick. Doesn't matter.
It's so cold.
How many kindergartners do you think you could take in a fight?
Hang on. What would you rather fight? 400 penguins, like regular sized penguins, or 4 giant penguins?
How big we talking?
Yeah, how big we talking?
How big is a regular penguin?
Well,
emperor penguins are like 3 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say how many kindergartners can you take in a fight because they're about the same size.
An infinite amount of kindergartners.
I don't believe
I
you.
can fucking pick one of those bitches
They
up
will
by the leg.
swarm you.
They won't, because one fucking punch in and they're dead.
I know, but there's like 20 of them at once. You can only hit a couple at the same time.
My hook would swing through the jaws of those 4-year-olds.
You just swing 360 constantly. You just be pirouetting.
I don't need it. Well, they're not that coordinated. Like, there's probably like a tip to them. Like, it's a full group. Like, kind of like how birds fly.
But
north.
they'll end up surrounding you.
Yeah, and bam, bam. Pick one of them up by the fucking legs, rip his goddamn leg off, smash the other kid's head in with his femur.
Do me a favor. Absolutely destroy this man. His DMs, Lindsay.
All right.
They're gonna show up. I'd be like, first of all, by the way, I could easily also take 4 emperor penguins that are like 15 feet tall.
Sure.
Oh
okay.
my god.
Like don't even like
You
I
don't
can,
have a machine gun.
No, I don't need a machine gun. First of all, like they're probably tall enough at this point where their crotch is basically like 2 or 3 feet off the ground.
Do you
based
think you
on
could fight and win a fight against one single bear? Just a bear.
No, of course not.
Okay, so
This is a penguin.
yes,
I have a hockey stick.
you don't have a hockey stick
Why am I out in the middle of Antarctica without a hockey stick?
because you're not playing hockey.
Well, yeah, but like for fun.
Yeah.
What? I'm just stuck there and nothing to fucking do?
Yes.
I'm not even doing science? Why am I there?
I don't know.
I'll
to
give
fight
him
the penguins.
I'll give him the hockey
You'll
stick.
give him a hockey.
Sure.
Do you still think he's gonna fucking lose immediately?
If I
Yes.
was a bear, it'd do the
But he's
fucking
not going
war
down without a
thing,
fight.
Hockey stick. Get me like 20 kids. If I can't fight 20 kids, I can't fight 400.
If I gave you an assault rifle with a fully loaded drum magazine, you wouldn't be able to beat 400 penguins swarming you.
Are you shitting me? No! Bro,
That's so many combatants.
but am not necessarily running at them in a charge. Maybe there's a strategy involved. You ever think about that?
They're just gonna swarm you, dog.
No, not necessarily.
Yes,
They
necessarily.
move so fucking slow. They're gonna
They
be
do
sliding
not
on the
move
ground.
that
I'm
slow.
two underneath my feet. I'm practically skiing at that point.
You're an idiot.
So, flat Earth.
I don't know why you're fucking bringing up this bullshit. Can't fucking kick a kindergarten.
Fucking moron.
So, in keeping with their skepticism of NASA, known flat earther conspiracy theorist Nathan Thompson approached a man he said was a NASA employee in a Starbucks in mid-May of 2017. So, in a YouTube video exchange, Thompson...
I've seen this.
Yeah, so he's the founder of the official Flat Earth and Globe discussion page. Kind of an ironic name. So he shouted that he
Wait,
had-
hold on. You can't call it a globe. You don't have that right.
Well, is a globe specifically a sphere?
I believe so. You know, I'm going to search up the
Or is it
definition
just
of a globe.
a model of the Earth?
Well, here, look that up.
That's a great point, actually.
So he shouted at this man that he had proof that the Earth is flat. Apparently saying that an astronaut drowning was that proof.
Globe, a spherical or rounded object.
That just sounds like big NASA trying to step in the way of...
Yeah, so furthermore, Earth's gravity, they believe, is an illusion. So that's part of the theory.
Well, isn't that also just, like, technically true?
I mean,
So
yeah.
according to them, objects do not accelerate downward. Instead,
No, they don't.
the disk of Earth accelerates upward at 32 feet per second squared.
Oh, so we're just soaring through space.
Exactly.
The problem with that, and I've heard this a lot, is it's immediately disproven because if it's exponential, it's breaking the speed of light barrier very
a good
quickly,
point.
and that is physically impossible.
Do you think they really know what
No,
C
of
means,
course
though?
they don't. Like,
So they say that it's being driven up by a mysterious force called dark energy.
they're
At
just
least come up with a fake science-y name.
Yeah.
well, dark energy is also a real thing that they clearly heard of and went,
Yeah,
well,
that
that's
must be what it
probably
is.
what we're... But yeah, that's like the thing we have.
So currently there is a disagreement among flat earthers about whether or not Einstein's theory of relativity permits Earth to accelerate upward indefinitely without the planet eventually surpassing the speed of light.
No.
Yeah. So as for what lies underneath the disk of the Earth,
Oh, baby, let's do it. I'm in.
this is unknown. But
What the fuck? Why you say...
yeah, so
Way to edge Tyler and me for some reason.
but most flat
Never been more
earthers
cocked.
but most flat earthers believe it's just rocks. It was just rocks underneath the
Can I
Earth.
dig down?
Like through the earth?
Because it sounds
Potentially.
like NASA's not guarding my backyard. I can
Yeah.
just dig a hole and be like, I fucking found it.
I am
just
a
keep
dwarf and I'm
digging down.
digging a hole. Diggy hole. We all have heard it.
Yeah.
God. So
No, hold on. You can't continue yet.
sure.
So, who's to say there's not a whole other planetary civilization on the other side?
You're
of Earth?
literally landing on the hollow Earth, and we ain't
That's
there.
That's great.
Uh,
Have you ever heard of concave Earth theory?
Is that where we're?
We're on the
We're in-
inside of the hollow
Yeah.
Earth. Apparently the
Isn't that the one that Hitler believed?
well, see, I'm not super sure if this is a true story, but I want it to be because it's very funny.
Is this the Nazis going to the Bahamas?
Yeah, and taking pictures of the sky because they should be able to see the British Navy, and then they came back with a bunch of pictures of empty sky and were summarily executed.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, probably not, and that's because
But wouldn't that be so funny?
yeah, it's important to note that Hitler was not as big into the occult as
No,
people thought
it was his other guys who were like.
It's actually a misconception that he was even into the occult like at all. Like it's almost entirely made up.
Wasn't his like number one or whatever? I forget his fucking name. Wasn't he really into it? I
The
thought?
the reason why people kind of assume he was in relation to the occult is because he was really big on the idea of like, if you're not with us, you're not with Christianity, and therefore, and by doing that, he like collected a lot of like major religious artifacts to be like, these are ours, these are Germany's. So people be like, well, I'm not against Christianity, so therefore,
So how could I be against Nazis?
Yeah.
So, it's worth noting that all of the above information that I just gave you is completely contentious even within the flat Earth
What
community.
does contention mean?
They're arguing about it because they can't agree
Yeah.
on
Oh, like whether or not I can fight 400 toddlers.
Exactly.
incredibly contentious.
All right, so quote, none of us believe that we're a flying pancake in space.
But you
unquote.
just said that.
Yeah, so that was what's his name, Davidson, that told CNN that in a 2019 article. At the Flat Earth International Conferences, it's more common to believe that space simply does not exist at all, and that the disk of the Earth sits still, he said. One speaker at the 2018 conference even argued that Earth is neither a sphere nor a disk, but it is instead shaped like a diamond.
So does that mean that when they say diamond, do they mean like a cone?
I'm assuming so.
So like it's pointed at the bottom is what? Because like
I think that he meant like kind of like a baseball diamond where it's like just jagged edges.
Oh, so not even a 3D. It's still not 3D.
Oh,
shape.
yeah.
Well,
So
that's
still not a
not
3D
how
shape,
I read
just-
that.
Yeah,
at all.
no. Well, because I immediately thought of the vial vortices, which is a real theory of like
Why just making up words as you go along?
no, the vial vortices. It's a real thing. Well, okay, hold on. It's not a real thing. Let me back up. So there's this concept that the Earth was originally shaped like a D20, essentially, but then aliens came and like shaved the corners
Oh,
off
fucking thank God, too.
because they're like, we're not gonna have any fucking nerds here.
That's like literally a story of everywhere I would go would be uphill.
But if you the vial vortices are triangular shaped areas where like weird magnetic phenomena happen. The most famous is the Bermuda Triangle. And this doesn't really work, but it was believed for a while that if you pinpoint where all the vial vortices are, it would be like where the edges of the D20 were shaved off. And a couple of them line up, but like they don't all line up like at all.
Huh.
So there is a concept too that it was shaped like a 3D, like a diamond, and that the vial vortices are actually where it was still shaved off, but it wasn't shaped like a perfect.
Wasn't
dodecahedron.
symmetrical? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, so you might be thinking, all right, Earth
Always
is flat.
thinking.
Sure, Earth is flat. Whatever.
Of course, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So what about the moon and other celestial bodies?
Well,
They're
They're not.
way closer to us, right? It's like a mobile in the sky.
All right, so flat Earth opinions about the moon vary. Some think that while Earth is flat,
The moon is round.
The moon
Yeah.
and the sun are spheres.
Yeah, which is like, okay, so you're just actually fucking like mentally challenged.
Yeah, so Live Science sister site Space.com reported, in this vision of the solar system, Earth's day and night cycle is explained by positing that the sun and moon are spheres measuring 32 miles. So they're the same size. They're just both 32
Yeah.
miles.
32 miles.
Yeah, and so they move in circles about 3,000 miles above the planet of the Earth.
So
Jeremy, your round trip from here back home is the size of the sun, apparently.
yeah. Well, that's always been a fact. It feels like that sometimes, even in real life. What you're describing now, if I remember correctly, it's a dude in the 1800s. He was like the mayor of a town, and basically he was like a really prominent flat earther.
Oh, when he made those pamphlets, right? And he sent them out everywhere?
Well, he basically came up with that as the idea. He's like, no. The sun and the moon are just far closer to us and far smaller. So, like, he kept the proportions the same. But I see what you just did there, and you did not make a face appropriate for how interesting that was.
Wow.
All right, so
Tyler just put a Ziploc bag down, and it landed, like, upright, and he was like, what?
I didn't want to interrupt, so I just got wide-eyed for a second. I was like, all right, hold on, listen to what Jeremy's saying. But it's kind of incredible.
all right, so they move in circles 30,000 miles above the planet Earth, and stars, they say, move in a plane 3,100 miles up. So they're only 100 miles above the sun and moon.
Is it one-way or two-way? The tickets those stars are to get in those planes.
I hate you.
Yeah.
So like spotlights, these celestial spheres illuminate different portions of the plane over a 24-hour cycle. So flat earthers believe there must also be an invisible anti-moon that obscures the moon during lunar eclipses.
So here's the thing.
Oh,
First of all,
my
how is
God.
something invisible obscuring my vision? Second of all, why do I see the sun go behind the horizon? Like, it would always be fucking there. Like I would go
Yeah,
farther
it would just
away.
Be further. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they even fucking try to explain sunset?
I mean,
Do they? It's like, well, it's around this time, so that's when the sun just goes into dim mode. So,
so there's like a million YouTube videos. I'm sure one of them goes into it.
half the fucking YouTube videos like gravity can't exist because I can't put this prop plane on a globe on the bottom side without falling down. And I'm always like, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but I don't fucking know why that has anything. Why do you think we go down? This only works if you immediately assume that we're on a disc in the first place.
That's so many of their experiment. Like, that's another thing behind the curve where there's like two big experiments happening, and both of them were like, oh, if this number comes up, then the Earth is flat. But if this number comes up, then the Earth is round. And then they get the round Earth number, and they go, I know what we did wrong. We weren't accounting for the heaven rays, so we need to put it in a weird special box. And they get the same number. They go, the box wasn't strong enough to keep out the heaven rays. So, like, it's flat. And it's just like, okay, so you just willfully want to be wrong.
Yeah.
They in both the experiments, they prove they're kind of brilliant. Like the one where they do the flashlight through the boards. It's kind of a brilliant experiment that proves the Earth is round. And instead of being like, I guess I'm wrong, they say, I guess I did the experiment wrong. And it's like, I fucking hate you.
So on that, if flat earthers seem hard to dissuade based on standard scientific evidence, there's a reason for that.
Because they're fucking stupid.
got
him.
So flat
Fucking
earth,
got 'em.
Fucking
flat
up
earth
top, brother.
theorizing follows from a mode of thought called the zetetic method. Zetetic. Zetetic method. So the zetetic method is an alternative to the scientific method.
Oh, yeah.
Developed
hear
by a
that.
19th century flat earther in which sensory observations reign supreme. So essentially,
So it's basically just saying like human beings are infallible and what we see must be exactly what it is because allegorical evidence is more
exactly
important.
that. Yes.
Cool. Wow, what a piece of shit.
How do people feel about COVID? Because I imagine, like, if you don't believe the fucking Earth is round, you're
I mean, okay.
nah.
Talking about
I've
Kyrie
never
Irving.
seen someone dead with COVID.
Yeah, so
it
talking
can't be
about
real.
Kyrie Irving, the flat earther basketball player, is also an anti-vaxxer. So
Yeah,
Piece
that
of
sounds
shit.
right.
yeah, I feel like the two are.
Yeah.
So skipping ahead a little bit, despite the claims from flat earthers, there are plenty of ways to know that the world is round. One quick option is to check out NASA's image library.
Also, in zetetic, whatever the fuck, a really good way.
Method.
Yeah, the zetetic method. A really good way to prove that the Earth is round is by fucking looking at it.
Yeah, so NASA.
You can see that it has a curve.
Yeah, so NASA, like, they have an Instagram page. They have, like, their own gallery online that you could check out, where, like, they take images of, like, planets, celestial bodies, and
Yeah,
like,
but those
all
are
this stuff.
photoshopped.
Yes, they have to be photoshopped because there is no lens wide enough to capture the entirety of Earth.
So they don't even know how distance works.
No.
Jeremy, you were perplexed by that one.
Well, that's just one. It really does bug me because you hear it a lot of people like being like, "Look, there's no curve on the Earth," and you're like, "It's literally right there in this photo you just took," and they're like, "That's lens distortion." It's like, first of all, you clearly don't know how lens distortion works.
Yeah,
Be-
what a lens does.
Yeah.
frankly.
Because there are types of distortion called pillow distortion. So usually you have barrel distortion, which is where the image looks like it's bulging inwards, and then there's pillow, which is it's basically the opposite. Even on pillow distortion, it would distort evenly throughout the frame. It wouldn't just be like, no, it only bends the image like in one direction. You would have the top of the frame also bent in that same way. It would kind of even out as you looked at it.
Yeah. So people who don't trust NASA, the Russians also snap pictures of the round Earth. So does Japan's agency and China's.
Oh, and we're trusting China now? They're practically communists.
I guarantee you that sentence has been spoken unironically at one of these conventions.
So for the flat earthers convinced that all these countries put aside their political tensions in order to maintain the fiction of a spherical Earth, There are also ways to check out the planet's shape with one's own eyes. One of the simplest ways is to go to a harbor and just watch ships depart. As a ship disappears over the horizon, the bottom of the ship will go first, followed gradually by the mast.
God forbid the Flying Dutchman phenomena occurs.
Also,
that'd just destroy their psyche.
I always like that because there's a bit of an issue with that of if a ship was just driving off the fucking edge of the earth, it probably also would go bottom first. It's like, you're like, oh my god, it doesn't just disappear. It's like, yeah, of course it didn't. It just fell. Those guys are dead.
It's one of those things with the fucking flat Earth, and you basically mentioned it right there. Just the idea that, I mean, like at least 100,000 people, at least, would have to have agreed to keep this secret.
Bro, I can't get 3 people in a room to understand that I can take on like 400 kindergartners. Like, how the fuck you messing that up, you know?
I hate that it kind of proves my point.
All right, so before we leave, I want to talk about Matt Hughes.
I've never heard of this.
You've never heard of Matt Hughes?
Never heard? I don't know this one.
All right. So Michael Hughes, popularly known as Mad Mike Hughes, was an American limousine driver, professed flat earther, and daredevil known for flying in self-built steam rockets.
I know who this guy is.
Yeah. So in 2002, Hughes set a Guinness World Record with a 103-foot jump in a Lincoln Town Car stretch limousine. So he stated...
That's pretty badass. I gotta give him that. That's pretty fucking sick.
Imagine that you didn't know that, like, you're going to prom or something, and then this guy's like, hold on, we're going to make a detour.
So he stated during an interview with the Associated Press in 2018 that he had planned to run for governor of California.
Oh, we would have voted him in too, probably.
Yeah, that would have been a possibility. So he lived up in Apple Valley, which is surprisingly
close.
Yeah. So in 2016, Hughes launched a failed fundraising campaign for a rocket that raised $310. After
it's so comically low again.
So after professing his belief in a flat Earth later that year, Hughes gained support within the flat Earth community. His post-flat Earth fundraising campaign made its $7,875 goal.
It's really important to point this out. This dude really wasn't a flat earther in real life.
Mm-hmm. It was for the money.
Yeah, he literally was like, people will give me more money if I just pretend like I think the earth is flat.
Yeah.
So the untested initial rocket was intended to reach a goal of 500 miles per hour. And further rocket trips were meant to be launched from a balloon 20 miles up and were intended to reach above the atmosphere in outer space.
What was his goal when he got to space? Die?
Well, there's steam-powered rockets, which I want to point out apparently is a real thing. They worked really well. But I imagine he would have been wearing a suit. Like, he was a daredevil.
But, like, a spacesuit?
Yeah.
So
he's not fucking walking up in a fucking 4-button.
Not only that, he also had a parachute.
But shut the fuck up. Aren't spacesuits, like, so incredibly expensive because they need to seal it from space?
Well, also, it's important to know, one, that
I guess not from space, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that probably is true, but also, like, that's what the Kickstarter would have been. Like, his thing was, remember, he wasn't actually trying to get to space. He was just a fucking daredevil.
Yeah, but he just said he was trying to get to space. What was the goal? When he got to space, he just fucking asphyxiate and die.
Yeah, but my point is he probably wasn't really, like, I mean, I'm sure he probably...
He just said he was?
He was like the Red Bull dude. Like, he was just trying to get large amounts of money to do cool stunts.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he was only driving limousines up to that point.
Yeah,
he had a world record,
didn't the Red Bull dude have a suit on?
Yeah.
That, like, Red Bull paid for?
You are under the impression that he was going to be like, I didn't get my money, I'm going up anyways. Like, on it...
that actually might have just killed Adrian.
Like...
And yeah, you're probably right.
Because The balloon itself, honestly, would have been a harder thing to get than the spacesuit.
I don't think that's true.
Do you know how big that balloon was?
Well, I know the balloon had to be enormous to get that
It was
rocket out.
literally bigger. No. The Red Bull dude who had the balloon that brought him to space, it was bigger than the Statue of Liberty. Like it was fucking massive.
I did not know that.
Yeah, like that dude is not gonna be like, well, we only made $300 this time, so we're just gonna pull it up. Get me like 50 helium balloons. I don't have a spacesuit either. Yeah, you know what, Tyler? Fuck it. We'll work it out.
Tell
we'll
me
work
he
it
doesn't
out.
seem like the kind of guy who would try, though, and just end up in space and fucking die.
Well, to be fair,
He did
So-
not end up in space and die.
No, because he died.
yeah, he
died.
did
He
die.
fucking died.
Yeah, so on February 22nd, 2020, Hughes died near Barstow, California, following the crash of a rocket he
Which
was
we
piloting.
could drive to within the hour, by the way, from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So it was built by Hughes and one of his collaborators, Waldo Stakes. That's the name of the man.
Oh, what a great name.
Yeah. So essentially what happened, during launch, the rocket's parachute, which was designed for landing, appears to deploy early and detach from the craft.
Yeah.
So like he basically like just plummeted down to earth without the parachute.
And I mean, it
Jesus.
went really fucking high too.
Yeah.
Like, it's important to know
Enough
that
to kill him.
he was like his rocket was almost on like a cartoon like slingshot launch pad.
Yeah.
Like when it shot him into the air, he was like, you can see the video. His parachute just almost immediately opens and rips itself out of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it does suck because like
It sucks.
By like. Just to point out, like, no negative will towards this dude.
No, I'm sending negative will. What a fucking dumbass. What a piece of shit idiot.
What?
For
what?
pretending to be part of a conspiracy theory just so he could get money to fucking kill himself because he really wants an adrenaline high. I hate that man. He's such a dumbass.
Yeah, so like it didn't come out that he wasn't actually a flat earther until after his death, when the PR department was like, no, yeah, we just kind of used them.
Yeah, so he's a liar who's feeding fire to a stupid cause and then fucking killed himself on it.
Yeah, but yeah,
that guy.
that's flat Earth. I skipped over a lot. You don't even know.
Well, we at least got in the important bits, like how many children I could just beat the shit out of.
I am furious with you.
I don't know what to fucking tell you. They're not going to swarm me because, one, I can run faster than them.
That's not... They will catch you eventually.
Why do they have infinite stamina, but I don't?
They don't have infinite stamina, but you cannot run forever.
No, but they can't, like, how? What, are they going to teleport when I get too fucking far away? They're like nothing personnel, kid. Nothing personnel, adult.
Or squawk, because it's a penguin.
Well, see, here's the thing. If I'm near a hill, I'll just go up the hill. Those motherfuckers are not going up a hill.
Yes, they can.
Bro, they got such small legs.
They don't actually. It's just a bunch of blubber that's covering their legs.
Yeah, but have you? Here's a quick question. If you were to take your pants off and put them around your ankles,
First of all, my pants aren't on anyway.
and you'd be like, no, my legs are fine. They're actually quite long. It's just the fact that my skin and my flesh continues down much lower. There's no constriction to any of my
Penguins are a lot more mobile than I think you think they are.
Not when I'm going uphill.
Yes, they are. They go uphill all the fucking time. They live in Antarctica.
I'm not implying that they're immune, that I'm immune to them when they're going uphill, but they're not fucking sliding uphill.
But like, where are you gonna go? Because here's the thing: your goal is to beat them in a fight.
yeah.
So somehow you have to engage them.
Oh, 100%. When I'm at the top of the hill, that's when I spring out my plan.
What's your plan?
Beat the shit out of them as they get close to me.
And then they swarm you.
Why would they swarm me? They're going up a hill.
There's 400. You think they're gonna move single file?
Why do you imply that they're moving like in a perfect circle, encapsulating
I'm not
me?
implying that they're moving in perfect circle. You're implying that they're single file. I'm saying that eventually they're going to surround you. Even if you make a body ladder, they're going to have to go around that. And at that point, they're going to be around you.
All I'm hearing now is there's a big pile of penguins that I can climb to the top of again, stopping them from getting to me a second time.
You're an insane man.
I would love for the cleaning lady to just like comment. Like, what the fuck
You're
are
an
they talking
insane,
about?
broken man.
Bro,
Dude, you've played Project Zomboid. You know how easily you can get swarmed when there's only like 5 of them.
yeah, well, that's another thing. That's a video game, and that's not very realistic.
Oh. My God.
These are also penguins, and they cannot withstand a
What
single
if
kick to the
penguins
face.
were zombies? Also, yes, they absolutely can.
100% they cannot.
I guarantee you they
I'll
can
do that
survive a
fucking
kick from-
Black Widow scissor kick move.
You know how to do that?
Yeah, I do.
All right, so you've killed one penguin.
And I've thrown that penguin into another penguin. That's fucking 2.
All right, now there's 398 surrounding you.
No, there isn't. Why are you under? What did it do that move? All of them just fucking
Because naturally,
slide
when a
into-
mob is moving to one spot, they begin to surround because there'll be ones in front of them, so they have to go around.
What's the volume of a penguin?
They're the size of a kindergartner and
Yeah,
fat.
yeah. But I mean, like, if I had them all in like a grid, how many people could I run through breaking that mob? Maybe I stand on one, boosting my jump a little bit more.
Adrian, which one of us is the insane person?
You're both insane, honestly.
Yeah, I know, but which one of us is right?
Also, I could, like, honestly, I might
right.
have an easier time with a kindergartner because I can't grab the penguin's feet as easily.
I do think you'd have an easier time fighting the kindergartners, personally.
You know why? Because I could fucking deck a kindergartner.